We didn't set any records.
But it sure was cold in central and northern Florida. It was the coldest Christmas in Flagler County in decades. Throughout Florida, shelters were crowded and thousands of flights were canceled. But otherwise, Emergency Management Director Jonathan Lord says impacts in Flagler County were minimal.
For a few nights there, we definitely hit into the mid to upper 20s in different parts of the county. So we were definitely below freezing. We had a couple nights where it's considered a hard freeze, where it was long enough for things like pipes to freeze. But luckily, we don't have any reports of any severe issues caused by that. We are not aware of any directly cold-related injuries and or deaths at this time.
With back-to-back storms causing significant coastal erosion, intracoastal flooding, and historic rainfall, Lord reflects on this past year and his hope for the new year.
It definitely tested our system, a community-based system here in Flagler County for dealing for emergencies. But the team came together and did amazing things and took care of our community to the best of our ability. I wouldn't mind if we started off a record year in 2023 of having no severe weather events. That would be very much okay with me and our entire emergency management team. And it would be great to have a peaceful year, and I wish that for everybody as we head into the new year.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. Matanzas Shores Condo Association President Robert Orr was arrested again last week on 9 additional felony charges related to video voyeurism. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
We've arrested him now 3 times, and I think the cases now are up to 14 cases where he secretly recorded video voyeurism of people that were in his condo using it, or in a condo that he had access to and was the caretaker, watching them undress and whatever else was going on. And you know, and I know in this particular case, Pennsylvania is also looking at him for some cases.
Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley says a way to avoid becoming a victim in this kind of crime is to be very aware of your surroundings.
You should always look for little small, you're not looking for a big camera, you're looking for the very pin size eye of a camera, and that's exactly what this case was. But you can also pull out your cell phone and try to connect to a router and see what is in the unit that you've rented, because all these cameras generally connect to a router because these perverts want to be able to watch the activities. So you can do that. And there's things that you can buy to check a unit that you've rented. You can buy them, Amazon or online. They're pretty inexpensive.
Sheriff Staley also encourages anyone who thinks they may have been a victim to contact them. Palm Coast 1st District Councilman looks back at 2022 and talks about the council's plans for 2023.
Ed Danko says one thing disappointed him the most this year.
The rest of the council voting for a tax increase of 18% translates to 3% on people who are homesteaded. For new buyers moving into Palm Coast from out of state, it was a massive hit. I'm very disappointed that we did not do the full, complete rollback, considering the prices of houses having gone through the roof.
Danko says the long overdue dredging project may begin in 2023.
Done the study, and it's going to take a little time to figure out the best way to do this. Do we hire the Army Corps of Engineers? Do we buy our own dredging equipment and dredge year-round? Hopefully we will get some results from this study that will put us on the right path. Hopefully we will be able to get the money we need from grants, from the feds, from the state, and I'm looking forward to getting these canals dredged. I've been fighting for this since I got on council.
For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
How hard was it to make Vincent's Clubhouse happen?
Founder Erica Flores said a lot easier than you might think. She went to Google.
I just kind of followed the instructions and read the questions, submitted the paperwork to the government and sent it away, and it got approved.
Flores said while she thought getting the 501c3 designation from the IRS would be an arduous process, it was not.
It was pretty simple, and I laughed because I'm like, I don't really know how that worked out. I know that was just God's kind of blessing.
Lifeline is on WNZF Saturday mornings at 9 and on the Flagler radio app anytime you want to listen. Tomorrow, how Vincent's Clubhouse got started. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
In other news we're following on WNZF, according to the Flagler County Sheriff's Office, a Ponte Vedra man was arrested early Monday after attacking a woman in Palm Coast, causing her to jump off a balcony to escape him. Ellen Brucker faces charges of violation of a no-contact order and strangulation. He's being held on no bond. Meanwhile, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office said it saw an increase in domestic disturbance calls over Christmas weekend. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley says they have zero tolerance for domestic violence in Flagler County. And Palm Coast Mayor David Alfin is considering a run for Paul Renner's seat at the Florida State House in 2024. And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.